If you had told me a year ago that my entire life would flip upside down because of the one person I trusted most, I would have laughed in your face. Seriously. No way. Not her. Not my best friend. We'd been tight since college, more than just close. We were practically glued at the hip. The kind of friendship where we could finish each other's sentences without even thinking. We knew each other's grocery lists by heart. We had the same weird cravings for Thai food at 11 p.m. We'd text each other about whether it was finally time to wash our hair after 4 days of dry shampoo. That kind of bond. She was my ride or die. Or at least, that's what I thought. I remember that night so clearly. It was late. I had just put my daughter to bed and was lying on the couch scrolling through random videos on my phone when my best friend's name popped up. I smiled at first, thinking it was just one of our usual late-night chats. But when I picked up, all I heard was sobbing. Like gut-wrenching, can't breathe, full-body sobbing. She couldn't even speak. She was crying so hard, gasping between words. I had to repeat, "What happened? Talk to me. Are you okay?" over and over before she finally got the words out. Her boyfriend had cheated again. Apparently, it wasn't the first time, but this time, she caught him red-handed. She said she walked in on him with some random girl in their apartment. She grabbed a bag, tossed in whatever she could, and just left. No plan. No destination. Just her car and heartbreak. I didn't ask questions. I didn't give advice. I didn't tell her to calm down or think things through. I just said, "Come here. Stay as long as you need." My house was hers. My family was her family. I meant it. At that moment, I wasn't just trying to be a good friend, I was being the kind of friend I would want if the roles were reversed. My husband was fine with it. Or, at least, he acted like he was. He nodded when I told him she was coming. Said something like, "Yeah, of course. That's what friends are for." We had a decent-sized guest room, and our toddler slept through the night, so it didn't feel like a big deal. Truth be told, I was actually happy about it. I'd missed her. Life after college had pulled us in different directions. She moved to another city for a while, and we both got busy, me with work, marriage, and motherhood. Her with her relationship and trying to make a career out of freelance photography. We kept in touch, but it wasn't the same. Having her back, even under sad circumstances, felt a little like picking up where we left off. It was comforting. Like slipping on an old hoodie that still fits just right. The first few days were honestly fine. Normal, even. She helped out around the house. Wasn't lazy. Wasn't rude. She picked up groceries when she went out. She offered to cook a few times. She played with my daughter like she was her own niece, even changing diapers and reading bedtime stories. We stayed up late talking, just like we used to. Catching up. Laughing. Crying a little. Mostly her. My husband didn't seem to mind. He was polite, respectful, nothing out of the ordinary. He'd say good morning in passing, thank her when she made dinner, and that was it. I didn't notice anything weird. At least, not yet. But looking back now, I think I was blind. Blind by comfort. By familiarity. By the fact that I believed I knew both of them. I thought I knew her. I thought I knew him. Turns out, I didn't know either of them at all. There were little things I should have picked up on. A laugh that lasted a little too long. The way she suddenly got interested in his hobbies, stuff she never cared about before. She'd ask him random questions about work, or video games, or music, and I'd just chalk it up to small talk. But now, thinking about it, no. It wasn't small talk. It was curiosity. Attention. Flirting hidden behind friendship. She started dressing differently too, not in a flashy or obvious way, but more effort. Tighter jeans. Hair always done. Even a touch of makeup, when she never used to wear any unless it was a special occasion. But I brushed it off. Told myself, she's just trying to feel better after a breakup. She wants to feel like herself again. And maybe that was true. But maybe it wasn't the whole truth. Still, at the time, I ignored all of it. I had no reason not to. I trusted her. I trusted him. I had no idea the betrayal that was unfolding right in my own house. But that moment was coming. I just didn't know it yet. It started small. You know, the kind of stuff that feels too minor to mention. So small you almost convince yourself you imagined it. One morning, I walked into the kitchen and saw 2 coffee mugs sitting in the sink, his and hers. One with my husband's favorite chipped Batman logo, and the other a pink one I knew she liked, the one with "Don't talk to me until I've had coffee" written on it. I stared at them for a second. Something about it made my chest feel tight. Here's the thing, I make the coffee every morning. Always have. It's like my little routine. I'm always up first, grinding the beans, setting up the machine, adding just the right amount of sugar to his, a little oat milk for mine. But that morning, I'd overslept. And I mean really overslept, like, baby woke up twice, and I just crashed. So if I didn't make the coffee, who did? It wasn't a big deal. I kept telling myself that. Maybe he made it. Maybe she offered. Maybe it meant nothing. But it didn't sit right. Something about those mugs felt off. And then there was the laughter. You know how people laugh differently when they're truly at ease? Not the polite kind, not the forced chuckle at a dad joke. I'm talking about the real kind, head thrown back, belly shaking, breathless kind of laughter. I started hearing that. A lot. It usually happened when I was upstairs, putting the baby down, folding laundry, taking a quick shower. I'd hear it float up through the vents, her laugh, his laugh. Like they were in their own little world downstairs, trading inside jokes and bonding over who knows what. And it was never just one of them. It was always both. Their voices blending together in a way that felt too easy, too relaxed, too intimate. But again, I told myself, you're being crazy. Stop it. I mean, come on, she was like family. Of course they'd be friendly. Of course they'd laugh together. That's what friends do, right? I buried those thoughts. Locked them up tight and tossed the key. But then came that afternoon. Before we continue, please do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. Have you ever been in a situation like this? I want to hear your thoughts. Alright, let's get back to it. I'd just gotten back from the store, my hands full of grocery bags, balancing a pack of diapers on my hip, and I walked through the front door like I always do. I wasn't expecting anything weird. I was thinking about dinner, about whether I forgot the baby wipes, about everything except what I was about to walk into. They were on the couch. Just sitting there. Watching TV. Nothing sexual. Nothing obvious. But the way they moved when I came in? That told me everything I needed to know. They jumped. I'm talking actual, startled, "Oh my God, you scared us," kind of jump. Not like they were caught doing something wrong, but like they thought they were caught and had to cover it up fast. Her voice shot out first, all high-pitched and overly bright. "Hey," she said, standing up so fast she knocked a pillow off the couch. "We were just watching that documentary you told us about, the one on Netflix." She smiled way too hard. Her eyes darted to him. He cleared his throat and followed up with something that made zero sense. Yeah, and the baby monitor glitched. We were checking it too." "Wait, what?" I blinked. The baby monitor glitched. He nodded, avoiding eye contact. "Yeah, for like a second. It froze or something. But it's fine now." "And the documentary?" I had paused it 2 days ago. I knew exactly where I left off. I was in the middle of episode 3. But somehow, they were already halfway through episode 5. I stood there, holding my grocery bags, just staring at both of them. The house felt suddenly too quiet. The air heavy. Like it was holding its breath with me. "Oh, okay," I said. That's all I could manage. I gave a tight smile, walked past them into the kitchen, and started unpacking the groceries like nothing had happened. But everything had changed. In that split second, I felt something inside me crack. Not break entirely, but crack. Like a hairline fracture forming in the glass of my trust. Small, silent, almost invisible, but still there. And once it forms, it never really goes away. For the rest of the day, I said nothing. Not to her. Not to him. I watched. I listened. I paid attention. It's weird how, once your gut starts whispering something's wrong, it's impossible to unhear it. I started noticing things I used to brush off. Like how he suddenly shaved more often. Or how she started borrowing my perfume just for fun. Or how they'd talk in the kitchen when I was upstairs, voices low, sometimes ending in soft laughter or sudden silence when I entered the room. No solid proof. Just vibes. But vibes are powerful. They stick with you. They crawl under your skin and keep you up at night. And that's exactly what they did. I lay awake for hours, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was losing my mind, or if I was finally seeing things for what they really were. But still, I said nothing. Because if I was wrong, I didn't want to be that wife. The jealous one. The crazy one. The one who ruins friendships and makes accusations based on feelings. So I waited. I watched. And deep down, I think a part of me already knew. This was just the beginning. It was a Friday night. I remember because I had just come back from a solo Target run, one of those mom escapes where you wander the aisles for peace and silence. I got home around 10 p.m. The house was dark. Baby monitor was quiet. I tiptoed upstairs, past the guest room. Her door was open. The bed was made. Lights off. No sign of her. I panicked for a second, thinking maybe she went for a walk or something happened. Then I passed my bedroom door and froze. Voices. His. And hers. I leaned in, heart pounding so hard I could barely breathe. I couldn't make out every word, but I heard laughter, that same relaxed laughter. Then her voice, soft and too familiar, saying something like, "You always know how to make me feel better." I didn't open the door. I couldn't. Instead, I went downstairs, sat on the couch, and stared at nothing for a full hour. She came down first, pretending to look for a glass of water. When she saw me on the couch, she jumped. "Oh hey. I didn't know you were back." I didn't respond. I just looked at her. Then he came down behind her. Shirtless. Shirtless. "Hey babe, you're home," he said like it was nothing. And just like that, I knew. The next morning, I didn't even yell. I didn't throw things. I didn't cry. I just acted like everything was normal. I got up, brushed my teeth, and went to the kitchen like it was just another peaceful morning. I made breakfast, eggs, toast, fruit. I even made coffee for both of them. They sat at the table like everything was fine, like they hadn't completely torn my heart in two the night before. I smiled. I talked about random things, groceries, the weather, a new cartoon my daughter liked. I played with her, fed her breakfast, wiped her mouth like always. I didn't give either of them a single clue that I knew. But inside, I was shaking. My chest felt tight. My hands were sweaty. I kept looking at them, sitting side by side like nothing had happened, and I wanted to scream. But I didn't. Not yet. Because I had something they weren't ready for. I pulled out my phone and opened our home security app. We had cameras in a few places, mostly for safety. And one of those cameras was in the bedroom. It wasn't hidden or anything. We had it set up back when our daughter was a baby and slept in a bassinet beside the bed. We used it to watch her while she napped. But after she moved to her own room, we just left it there. Forgot about it. They did too. So I went to the recordings. The night before. Around 2 a.m. I hit play. And there it was. Her. Crawling into bed beside my husband. Under the same blanket. Laying down like it was her place. They were laughing. Whispering. Touching. Then, the part that broke me the most, they kissed. I paused it right there. I didn't say anything. I just turned my phone screen toward him and slid it across the table. He looked down at it. And froze. The color drained from his face in seconds. His mouth opened like he wanted to say something, but nothing came out. He just sat there, pale, still, caught. She looked at the screen too. Then she looked at me. Like I was the one who had done something wrong. Her face changed from confused to scared to ashamed in a matter of seconds. But she didn't say anything either. I stared at both of them. "You want to explain?" I asked. My voice was shaking, but I didn't yell. I kept it calm. Too calm. That kind of quiet anger that makes people squirm. He stuttered. It was just once. "Try again," I snapped, sharper this time. He looked like he was going to cry. "It didn't mean anything," he mumbled. And then she spoke. Softly. Her voice almost sounded sad. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said. "We didn't plan it. It just happened." That's when the fire in my chest exploded. "You didn't mean for it to happen," I said, standing up from the table. I pointed at my daughter, still in her high chair, happily smearing banana on her face. You came here because you were broken. You said you needed me. And I welcomed you into my home. I let you sleep under my roof. I let you hold my child. I turned to her. I trusted you. I trusted you with everything. She looked away. I looked at him. And you had everything. A wife. A daughter. A home. And you still threw it all away. For this. No one said anything. I stood there, breathing hard. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. But I was done. I want you out, I said to her. Today. Pack your things and leave. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. She just nodded, stood up slowly, and walked down the hall to the guest room. He followed her with his eyes like he didn't know what to do. Like he was caught between staying and running after her. But I didn't care what he chose. I was done making decisions for him. I picked up my daughter and walked away. I didn't want her in the middle of it anymore. As I rocked her in the nursery, tears finally started to fall. Quiet ones. The kind you cry when you're too tired to fight anymore. My little girl looked up at me with big eyes, not knowing anything about what just happened. She smiled. And in that moment, I knew I was going to be okay. Not because I wasn't hurting. I was. But because I knew what I wasn't going to allow anymore. No more lies. No more betrayal. No more people in my life who could smile to my face while stabbing me in the back. I heard the front door open and close later that day. She didn't say goodbye. Good. She didn't deserve one. She packed fast. No long talks like the ones we used to have, sitting up on the bed in our pajamas, crying about old boyfriends or bad days. None of that. Just silence. She didn't even look me in the eye. I watched her zip her suitcase like it was a normal day. She folded her jeans like she wasn't folding up the last pieces of our friendship. Stuffed her toiletries into a bag like she hadn't just torn a hole through my life. And then she walked out of the guest room that had been her safe place, her second home, like it meant nothing. I stood in the doorway, arms crossed, heart pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask her why. I wanted her to say something, anything. But she didn't. Not a single word. And him? He followed her out into the hallway like a puppy who had no idea what he wanted. He looked back at me, eyes red, face pale, like he expected me to stop her. Like I was supposed to fix the mess he made. When the front door clicked shut behind her, the silence that followed was louder than any fight we'd ever had. That's when the floodgates opened. He tried to apologize. Tried to twist it into something that sounded less cruel, less deliberate. He said it was a mistake. A moment of weakness. He said he'd been confused. That he didn't know why he did it. That he missed feeling young. I looked at him like he was a stranger. You missed feeling young. I repeated, letting the words hang in the air. Then I laughed, loud, bitter, and ugly. So you sleep with my best friend? Under my roof? While I'm upstairs taking care of our child. He started crying. Not the kind of tears that come from deep regret, but the kind that come when you realize the consequences are real. That the comfort is gone. That the woman who washed your clothes and made your dinner and carried your child no longer trusts you. And never will again. We fought. Not just one argument. I mean loud, painful, door slamming, crying in the kitchen kind of fights. He begged. I yelled. He tried to guilt me. I stood my ground. For days, our house became a war zone. I couldn't even look at him without seeing flashes of her. Her in my house, her on my couch, her in the guest room I decorated with care. Every part of my home felt dirty, tainted, broken. But I didn't back down. The pain was real. The betrayal cut deep. But something inside me had shifted. I wasn't going to cry and beg and ask for scraps of love. I wasn't going to fight for a man who threw away his family for 5 minutes of attention. I wasn't going to stay in a house that felt more like a battlefield than a home. So, I called a lawyer. The next week, I filed for divorce. No more waiting. No more second chances. I was done. Done with pretending. Done with crying in the shower so my daughter wouldn't hear. Done with putting someone else's comfort above my own peace. I fought for custody. And believe me, it wasn't easy. There were days when the paperwork, the meetings, the legal jargon, it all felt like too much. But I pushed through. For her. For my daughter. Because she deserved a mother who chose peace over chaos, stability over dysfunction, truth over lies. And in the end, I won. Full custody. My little girl would grow up in a home filled with love, not confusion, not betrayal. Just love, laughter, and a mother who fought like hell to protect her. As for her, my so-called best friend, she disappeared. No apology. No phone call. Not even a text. She didn't try to explain. Didn't try to fix what she broke. She vanished like a ghost, like the friendship we built meant absolutely nothing. And maybe to her, it really didn't. It hurt. God, it hurt. Because losing a friend like that, it's a different kind of heartbreak. It's not loud. It's quiet. Lonely. It sneaks up on you in the softest moments, when you hear a song you both loved, or pass by the coffee shop you used to meet at. It breaks your heart slowly, piece by piece. But over time, I healed. I stopped looking for her face in crowds. I stopped hoping she'd reach out. I stopped blaming myself for trusting too easily. And him? He still sends texts sometimes. Little hope you're doing okay messages. Or miss seeing the baby. Once, he even sent a long paragraph about how he's been working on himself. That he wants to talk. Rebuild. Try again. I never respond. Because here's the truth I learned the hard way. Sometimes, the people closest to you, the ones you take a bullet for, are the ones holding the gun. The ones smiling at your baby while sneaking behind your back. The ones you would have done anything for, until they did the one thing you never thought they would. And when you find that out, you walk away. You hold your head high, even if your heart is in pieces. You rebuild from the ground up. You protect your peace like your life depends on it. Because in a way, it does. And maybe one day, I'll love again. Maybe I'll trust again. But for now, it's just me and my daughter. And that's more than enough. So yeah, that's how I found out my husband was sleeping with my best friend, under my roof, in my bed, while I was raising our daughter and holding our home together. It nearly broke me. But you know what? It didn't. I took my pain, turned it into power, and built something stronger, just me and my little girl. If you've ever felt betrayed like this, if your trust was shattered and your heart stepped on, you're not alone. And I hope my story helps someone out there realize they don't have to stay where they're not respected. Drop a comment if you've been through something like this. Let's talk about it. Let's heal through it. And if you like this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more real stories that hit home. I'll see you in the next one.